Up next, Marvel Legends, Fantastic Four Vintage Wave, Marvel's Thing. Let's talk about it.
MBB on the track.
What up, party people in the place? I am the Ruckus, and these are my toys. On deck, we have from the Fantastic Four Vintage Wave, Marvel's Thing. As you can see, it's in the retro packaging, meaning that it's on a card, and this is based off of the 90s cartoon, and this wave is a continuation from what Hasbro began last year when we got a vintage wave version of Doctor Doom, and they decided to bless us with an entire wave of the Fantastic Four and a couple villains. It's customary, since it's a vintage wave, it doesn't come with any Build-A-Figure pieces, but what we get is a nice size thing. Same basic sculpt as the previous two offerings, the Walgreens exclusive and the standard release Fantastic Four Super Scroll Wave. Just changed some of the paint apps a little bit and gave us some different head sculpts. But let's talk about this thing right here. So we have the retro packaging, which is the card, and you have the clear plastic window that displays Ben and his head sculpt, and you can see he's a big meaty figure. He's taking up the whole thing. You've got the Fantastic Four logo up top with an illustration of the cartoon versions of the figure. As far as the thing in the packaging, he doesn't just come with the head. If you look, I don't know if you can see it, it's hidden behind the that paper there, but he's got another set of hands. He's got an open hand for his left arm, and he's got a closed fist for his right arm. So since there are no sides, only thing we can do is go to the back, and in the back we've got the Fantastic Four logo. You've got an illustration of the Thing, cartoon style. You've got an illustration of how to swap the heads, and he does come with a readout, and that would be, with his nearly indestructible body and incredible strength and stamina, the Thing possesses the ability to crush evil. Real quick, to the point, you have below the, we'll call it bio, you've got all of the figures that are in this wave. You've got Mr. Fantastic, you've got the Invisible Woman, Human Torch, Psycho Man, and the High Evolutionary to go along with Marvel's Thing. So that's what we have there, and that's basically all there is to it. So without further ado, let's get Ben out of his packaging. Real quick, this is just to show you that he had, and I was mistaken, he comes in packaged with two open hands, and he came in closed with two fists. My bad, y'all. Should have been double checking, what can I say? But as you can see, we've got the two closed fists, and they were hidden down by his feet. Okay, so we've got the Thing out of the packaging, and a few things about Mr. Grimm. Part of the Fantastic Four. They first appeared in 1961 in Fantastic Four issue 1. This marked the first actual Marvel comic The company had always been around for a few decades. They were known as Timely Comics, but then Stan Lee and company decided to rebrand, and they changed the name to Marvel, and the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, so the Thing, along with the rest of the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, then called Invisible Girl, and the Human Torch, they're known as Marvel's first family. As far as the Thing himself, he's been an Avenger. Believe it or not, he's been a part of the Avengers. His appearance has changed big time throughout the years. When he first appeared, he was he just was this big lumpy thing, and over the course of a few issues, he started to become more rocky and less lumpy, and he ended up evolving, mutating into the familiar / classic form that we know of today, that we see before us right now. He's had a few different forms. He was more rocky and was known as, colloquially known as Pineapple Thing, because of the shape of his head at the time for that one. But for the most part, he always ends up coming back to looking like this right here. No matter what he's been going through, whatever iteration, he always ends up back to what we see right in front of us. Some stats on Ben. He's 6 feet tall. That's what he's listed as. Artists, they take artistic license, and he's usually drawn larger. And there have only been a few artists that actually drew him to be just 6 feet tall. He's supposed to actually be shorter than Reed Richards, who's listed at 6'1". Jack Kirby used to draw him shorter than Reed Richards. George Perez, one of my all-time favorite artists, he used to draw the Thing. He was able to master two things. George Perez, he was able to draw the Thing at his 6 foot height without taking away from his girth, and that was definitely an accomplishment to do. The other thing that George was great at was he was the master of getting as many characters into one frame as possible, and it didn't even have to be 1 or 2 page splash pages. He could do that in just panels. Was able to do that. It was incredible. But enough of that. So yeah, so you've got the Thing. I just told you about his height and his appearances, how his appearance has altered over the years. The other thing that's altered over the years is his strength level. He, believe it or not, started out as being a 5-tonner. He could only lift about 5 tons, even though they kind of sort of, they quickly got away from that with some of his exploits back then, and he's more or less been standardized at about 85 tons for the majority of his existence. And recently, like within the last 3 or 4 years, his strength level has been increased to he's officially a Class 100 character now. It took him over 50 years to get there, but he's finally Class 100. Now, you have to keep in mind about Class 100. Unlike the other classes, Class 100 is really subjective and vague. You could be like the Thing, he's Class 100, but the Hulk, Thor, Hercules, Gladiator, the Silver Surfer, they're all classified as Class 100 too. Colossus, Wonder Man, they're all Class 100, but they're at different tiers. You also have to keep in mind that Class 100 designation is just so we can get an idea when we're comparing characters. So all of these characters have been depicted lifting way more than 100 tons. So like Ben himself, he's been shown to keep a 30,000 ton spacecraft from lifting off. They've shown him push a building back up that was on the verge of falling. We know that weighs more than 100 tons, but you get the idea. Another fun fact about the thing that many people probably don't know, Ben is essentially immortal. He doesn't age. He gets to turn back to human one day a year, and on that day he ages, but he only ages a day, just like any of us. So he is essentially, for all intents and purposes, immortal, even though technically he does age. But when you're talking about one day over the span of who knows how long, yeah, the boy is immortal. He can still be killed, but left unscathed, he could live essentially almost forever. But that's a little bit of the background on Benjamin J. Grimm, the Thing. Let's talk about his accessories. So as I've shown you guys before, he comes with another set of hands. These are closed fists. These were the fists that were hidden down by his feet, unseen, and they're just the same fist that we got with the Walgreens exclusive and the standard Fantastic Four Super Skrull release. The Thing also comes with an additional head sculpt. This one, he's got his teeth showing, and he's kind of gritting them. So he's got the same type of marble work that the head that comes on the figure. Oh, losing it there. There we go. And yeah, so he comes with this additional head sculpt. It looks pretty good. Before we examine the retro series Thing, I've got him lined up with the first two iterations, the first two versions. On our right, you've got the Super Skrull Wave Thing, and on the left, the first offering in this body mold. You've got the Walgreens exclusive Thing with a custom head that actually needs to get an updated paint job to match the body. The head, as I'm sure you can tell, is darker. This head, the custom head, he's chomping on a cigar, and I don't know if you can pick up on that through the camera, but it is there. He's got the cigar sticking out of the right side of his face there. But yeah, you could see the differences in the paint shadings. The first Thing was the darkest pigmented green, and had the line work was painted in, and of course the trunks were different color blue, and they were more like boxer briefs. And then you move over to the Super Skrull Wave Thing, and that's more of a modern take. He's also wearing boxer briefs, and he's got a wrestler's belt with the 4 insignia on it, and the pigmentation on this version was more. It was almost as though it has 2 shades of orange on there. No line work, nothing painted in the lines, but it does have 2 shades of orange work there, like his head and his eyebrows, his chest, his shoulders and forearms, and his feet and toes have got like a lighter tannish orange wash over them. And of course, we've got the retro series Thing riding in the middle. He's got the more classic shorts on, different shade of blue, and with the white band as opposed to the Walgreens exclusive with the black band, and also no line work, also 2 shades similar to the Super Skrull Wave Thing. His shoulders and chest have a lighter kind of tannish orange shade to them, as well as the big toes on his feet. But that's about the as far as the paint apps are concerned. That's what's different. The other thing that's different are the head sculpts. All of them have different style head sculpts. The current thing, his eyebrows, it's all in the eyebrows is where all the differences are. He has a more flat and pointed brow. The Retro Series one. The Super Scroll Wave one has the more classic style of eyebrows, as well as the Walgreens, the thick unibrow style eyebrows that can be discerned as eyebrows. And other than that, it's just different expressions. Out of packaging, the Retro Series thing has got what I call the kind of dumbfounded look on his face, and the others have their mouths are closed, and that even includes the Walgreens exclusive, the original head, similar. Taking a closer look at the thing, you could see, like I said, he's got that what I call that dumbfounded open mouth look. He's got the baby blues as he's known for. As I said before, he doesn't have any painted line work in, not like the Walgreens exclusive thing did. It's essentially the same mold. It is the same mold, just different paint apps. I don't know if you can tell on here. If you look carefully, it may not translate well because of the camera. But if you look at above the elbow area and below the shoulder area, you could see that that's a different shade of orange there. And the same thing, if you look at the forearm, that's a different shade of orange from the rest of the forearm. And the same thing goes for the chest. If you look at the chest, you can see right there that it's lighter. The shoulders and the chest, it's lighter right there. But other than that, it's more or less this pumpkin colored orange. And the same thing goes for the feet. You can see right there that the feet have that same lighter color than the rest of the body. As far as the back, it even extends to the back. He's got that same the shading over there, or not shading, but that color, that lighter orange, brownish orange. And other than that, that's what you got. As far as the shorts, the line work on mine is it's a little bit sloppy at the top, but it's not that bad. The rest of the coloring on the shorts is pretty fine. As far as articulation on the thing, his head, we'll pull his head off real quick, is on a ball hinge. And in fact, I may as well put on that other head now because I was going to do it anyway. So he doesn't have that dumbfounded look. So there he is with, well, still don't have the head on. There we go. So the thing can only look up about that much. He can look down pretty decently. He looks like he can look down on somebody being a big guy, especially considering he is larger. That Hasbro went on and made him bigger. As I stated earlier, most of the time artists they take artistic license with how they portray the thing. He's usually larger than almost everyone else in the frame with him in any panel that he's in. onto his arms. His arms can go out that far. He can get a 90. The shoulders, 360 rotation. He has no bicep swivel. He does have an elbow, single jointed elbow, and he gets his swivel motion at the elbow. His hands, his wrists, he's got the horizontal hinge, and of course they rotate. He has a diaphragm articulation right there. Not much. It really doesn't do anything when you think about it, either front or back. He can get some to the side, not much, and it really just snaps back. He does have waist rotation, but it breaks up the sculpt, which is because of how he's shaped. So that's pretty ugly right there. As far as his legs at the hips, he could do the splits that much. This fool has got a lot of Spider-Man figs beat. He's got thigh rotation, double jointed knees, and he can point his toe that much, go up that much. He's got ankle pivot. He's got very, very small peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And here's Ben, fully equipped with all of his accessories, his two-fisted hands, and his grinning head sculpt. Now it's time for some comparisons. Here he is next to Gladiator, and he's not real happy about being next to him. If none of you recall, Gladiator one time beat the crap out of Ben in a story called Man and Superman. It was written by John Byrne, and I remember Gladiator basically one-shotted Ben, and Ben was out of the fight from that point forward. And here's another gentleman that Ben isn't fond of being around. You've got the 2019 SDCC 80th anniversary exclusive Hulk. And just to see how he measures up against a couple of Build-A-Figures, you got on our right Mr. Hyde, and on the left Zemnu the Titan, the original Hulk. And continuing the trend of lining him up against people he doesn't really care for, we've got what could be considered his wave mate, but not really. We've got Dr. Doom retro style with the soft goods tunic, or whatever you want to call the collar apparatus around his neck. He was the first in the Fantastic Four retro series, so by default he is considered a wave mate of sorts. So to sum it all up, this is thing number 3. Still a good figure. I remember when the Walgreens exclusive came out, it was highly sought after. I remember when it came out, I never saw Ben in any of the Walgreens stores, and I live around several. I was fortunate enough there was a very small window of opportunity to order them, so I ordered myself a couple of them. But like I said, I never saw the Thing in a Walgreens store ever. I managed to see the rest of the Fantastic Four, but never the Thing in stores. Still, definitely a great body mold. We were all excited when it happened. The proportions are just great. Different paint apps, and this won't be the last time, I don't believe, that we'll get the Thing. I just hope that it'll be a while before we get the Thing in this body mold. If anything, I'd love to see a pineapple Thing. That would be great. They'd have to do an entirely different mold, because that version of the Thing was more bulky than this current what we see right here. So he was definitely a little bit bigger, at least girthier. But as far as this Thing is concerned, I love the second head sculpt. That's why I still have it on with the gritted teeth. Pretty good. You know, it came with the standard set of fists, so that's cool. You've got open hands and you've got a pair of fists, so that's good. He's got good articulation for a big guy, so you got, you know, no complaints there. And yeah, so they seem to be, the thing has been shipped by himself, as well as most of the wave has been individually released. I believe Mr. Fantastic was released on his own. Psycho Man was the latest to be released on his own. I think some outlets actually released the High Evolutionary on his own, and I believe Entertainment Earth had the Invisible Woman for a short period of time. But I got this from Amazon. They shipped that. It was just surprising. I didn't expect him until mid-November, and I got notification a couple days ago, and then he showed up on my doorstep yesterday. So I figured, let me do a review now. I actually await the rest of the wave to get here and see what's what. I'm looking forward to getting that High Evolutionary for real, and the Psycho Man too. I love my villains. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and smash that bell so you can be notified when I upload another video. And please subscribe. I'm new to this, so I'm small. You gotta crawl before you can walk. A lot of YouTubers, they celebrate milestones like getting their first 1,000. I'm trying to get my first 100, so help a brother out, please. So, but other than that, my peeps, until the next time, remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.